Slack and he Major welcome you to the My Type of Hype podcast, where we celebrate hip-hop, not just the hype.
How y'all feel out there?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back once again, everyone. My Type of Hype podcast, as always, with me, your boy Slack in the building, and my co-host extraordinaire over to my left. What's happening, brother?
Bless. We are here, My Type of Hype, a podcast that celebrates hip-hop and not just the hype. We're back. Slack, my brother, what's happening? You good?
All good, my brother. All good. Can't complain. Well, I can complain because the weather is ridiculous right now. Apart from that, can't complain at all. Good start to the year. So what we got going on this week, bro?
Yeah, man. So we thought we'd top it up a little bit. Yeah, man, we're here. So we thought we'd look at where are they now? You know what it's like, man. It was actually just listening to hip hop as we do, man. And then, you know, sometimes you hear a song and you think, man, this song is such a sick song or album or something. And then you don't really get much else from the artist. Now, just to clarify, we're not talking one-hit wonders. We're not talking about someone who just dropped a song and disappeared. We're talking about artists that we actually thought had like a dope album or a dope song or something like that, made quite an impact and then sort of disappeared. Maybe they dropped a little something after, but nowhere near where we'd expect them to be. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we just thought we'd have a look at that, man, and resurrect some names that you might not have heard for a while, man. So yeah, should be a good one.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Okay, you want to get cracking?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, bro. You kick off today.
All right, well, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like when we came up with this, and I was racking my brain. I was thinking, but then I don't know, just started coming through. There's a few, man. So I am going to start off with. I want to go for OGC.
Yeah.
So OGC were obviously part of the boot camp. Loved their debut album, The Storm. I actually like Empire Strikes Back too. There was some tunes on that album.
Solid.
And then that was it, bro. Like I didn't hear nothing else from them. So Tharang, hard. Like I love that. I love like his song on The Storm, his features, his verse on Le Fla, Eskoshka. He just had that. I think he could have been another star out of the boot camp.
He was the next up.
Yeah, definitely. Man. Yeah, definitely. So I don't know what happened to them, bro. Like they just kind of. I don't think they did another group album after the Empire Strikes Back. Not that I know of anyway. So yeah, like it would have been nice for them to carry on that run, that boot camp run. Smith Wesson is still around. If Sean P was still with us, R.I.P. I'm sure he would have dropped some more Helter Skelter stuff. Yeah. Black Moon only released the album in the last 2-3 years, I think. So yeah, it would have been nice for OGC to still be around, but I don't know what's happening with them. I don't really hear any news about them, if they had broken up or if they're still around. They don't really tour, so I don't know anything about it, bro. So yeah, OGC will be my first pick.
That's a good shout, man. I'm thinking about something you tweeted actually. You was putting something up about the group of the year and that for 92 and that. And then I was also thinking about it. It was written Nas's album the other day, and I just thought about this album. It's like it's my favorite Nas album. I just think it's so dope, man. And then you just think like we were spoiled, man. I know we've said it a few times on this podcast, but we were really spoiled. Like when you look at what some of the stuff that never got its shine was only because there was so much quality at that time. You know what I mean?
So I know there was that much quality that Nas dropped in. It was written. Let's be honest, a lot of people weren't feeling it like that when it first came out. No. They weren't. It seems to be a revisionist favorite right now. People are it's better than Automatic. But at the time, no one was saying that. People were pissed at that album. So I
never understood that though. Like I'll be honest, like some things had to grow on me, no doubt. But for me, it was written from the moment. Like for me, I just thought, this is like actually. I'm gonna sound really ignorant here, but the only song I don't like is Black Girl Lost. The one who's probably like the biggest, you know what I mean, most important.
Don't like I didn't like Street Dreams.
Street Dreams is okay, man. I don't
didn't
that,
like
bro.
it,
I don't
man.
mind that.
Didn't like it. The Tupac, All Eyes on Me, utilized that sample so much better.
Oh yeah, Tupac all day for that track, no doubt.
Yeah,
But
that I don't know, man. It just
man.
didn't hit. So there's a few times I skip on that album, even to this day. And I remember my auntie had bought me that album on cassette, and I had I think it was the Tribe album, Beach Vibes and Life, and I think I had Nocturnal all at the same time. And I remember playing them three, and It Was Written was my least favorite out of those three albums, because I remember I went to HMV with her. She bought me that. I bought the other two, took them all back. Was like proper excited. Like, I got 3 albums to play through. Yeah, man. I wasn't feeling it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Took a while for me, man.
Black Girl Lost is literally the only one I skipped. Like, I literally like them all. Even Nas Coming that people hate. I'm like, what? Like,
hate that too. So yeah, there's about 4 or 5 songs on there that I do not like.
Really? Yeah, but what was the point why I raised that is because I was saying that, you know, obviously not the same for you, but I felt like a lot of very good albums that were slept on is put because of the amount of quality that's coming out at that time. Do you know what I mean? If it dropped today, it'd be a different scenario. But when I think about things like Helter Skelter, Boot Camp, and I think, you know what, like, that is such an amazing like camp. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about what comes out of that, man, like, so dope. The albums that come out of that, the groups, the solos, all of that. But yeah, that OGC. For me personally, I preferred Empire Strikes Back. I just think the rapping was a bit more of a higher tier on that. Like, it felt more comfortable. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Which is weird, I guess, because 99, you would have thought 96. You know what I mean? It would be more like that with the Storm, but the Storm had to grow on me a little bit. Like, when I first played the Storm, I felt a bit like, I ain't really feeling this that much. I had to play it a few times to feel it. Whereas Empire Strikes Back, I felt it straight away. But either way, Starang definitely, I feel like he was the next one. He was almost like Sean P in that sense. He had the humor, the flow. Yeah, dope. But yeah, never heard anything else from them, man, which is surprising. Like you said, I don't know if they did go on to do anything else, but you would have thought they could have really like been continuing and doing something big. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but even now, we can't do things like Smith & Wesson still tour and different things. You could talk. You know, like
Smith & Wesson are still out here. They were over here last year.
Yeah. A couple years before that.
The All that came out, what, 2019, around there?
Yeah.
That the Ninth Wonder Soul Council album that they did. Like I said, Black Moon recently. So yeah, it's literally only OGC that we don't really hear from. Even Rockless Monsters dropped a project last year, I think it was as well.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, no, good shout. I'm gonna start with Blase. And reason, like I said, yeah, man. For me, like Blase, like they had that. The first album, when was it? 96 as well. Coincidentally, 96 as well. That Blah 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 album, I love that album. Like, that album took a while to drop because they dropped Danger, which is super hard. I think it's like a 5 mic classic single for me. I love it. And then they dropped Pain I Feel, and I thought Pain I Feel was hard. I think Danger was 95, Pain I Feel was 96, and then it felt like almost a year later the album dropped. So already I feel like they had already lost momentum like straight away, because you can't have such a big single and like be waiting over a year to drop your album, man. You got to capitalize on that. If it's problems at Mercury or whatever. But for me, it just felt like it had gone down a little bit. So anyway, I've still bought the album because I love Danger and Pain I Feel so much. For me, I wouldn't say it's a personal classic, but it's definitely an album that I rate highly. I really do enjoy it. I like it a lot. The title track, Blah Blah Blah, hard. PF Cutting on the production, the scratching. I think he's dope, man. I think he's good.
That's Sean P's DJ, or was Sean P's DJ?
Yeah, that's right. And that's what I was going to say. Apart from, they did drop another album years after, like I think like 2018, 19 or something like that. Anything can happen or something like that. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I haven't even heard the whole thing. But Blase fell in that category. Like, if we're being honest, where, no disrespect, but you weren't good enough to like to have people waiting that long. You see what I'm saying? Like they were forgettable, even though Danger was hard. So PF Cutting is the one that obviously you're gonna know of because he still does production, still DJing, as he said. I think his wife was sick, or maybe even I'm not saying in case it never happened, but I know there were some family issues there. She was unwell and that, but he was still kind of doing his thing. Out Loud, the MC, I never heard anything else from him after.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I did not rate him at all.
No, lyrically, we weren't. No. Bro, lyrically, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, that song Danger, it always used to come on either the box or MTV Raps used to rinse that song. It was almost. Did you not like it? Bro, it didn't do nothing for me, man.
I thought it was hard, bro. I thought it was pretty much.
I just didn't like the MC, man. He just, I don't know. He wasn't good to me. And the beat was very simple. I understand why some people liked it. It was the hook. It was the If the East is in the house. Oh my God, I get it. That was cool. But the song as a whole, I wasn't the biggest fan, man. So I saw the album many times when I went to buy music. That album was staring me in the face, and I'm just like, I ain't gonna spend that money. So I heard it, and I heard it eventually, and it was solid. It was cool, but I probably only heard it maybe once or twice in my life, and I've never really gone back to
it. Okay. I spun it for a while. I ain't gonna lie. I spent a lot of time with it, bro. Especially like I said, the intro track, that blah blah blah, man. There's a good minute at the end of just beat. So we used to rap a lot to that, bro. But I and then a remix when I heard the Danger remix with Smooth the Hustler spitting backwards and all that. Well, not spitting backwards, but spitting his verse backwards and that. Yeah, man, I liked it, man. I thought we'd see more from them. So they're definitely people that came to mind because, like you said, Out Loud were an incredible MC, and that's what I meant. And I said I don't feel like they were good enough for people wanting to be waiting for them. But I felt like Danger, Pain I Feel, and the actual album, I thought made enough of an impact for them to be in a flow to make some more music. Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. Like, do you think anyone outside of like hip hop heads would have known who them dudes were? Like, I don't know if that single did enough like to propel them anywhere outside of people who I'll put them alongside sort of J. Rue the Damager, like that kind of level. Like people who were hip hop heads, they knew about Sunrise in the East, they knew about Come Clean, Can't Stop the Profit, all that kind of stuff. But if you weren't up on hip hop like that, you ain't gonna know nothing about them. Do you know what I mean? So no one's definitely gonna be waiting 20 years for your next shit to come out.
That's what I mean. Yeah. No. I mean, if they dropped to like a couple of years after, I definitely would have bagged it. I would have been like, yeah, okay, let me check this out. Because like I said, I did enjoy it. But yeah, it's one of those ones, man. But definitely, like I said, I know they did drop something a few years later, and PF is still doing his thing. But yeah, as a group and as a blase, you're not hearing him at all.
Nah, not for me, man.
Which is a shame. But yeah, that's my first choice, man. What you got next?
All right. You just kind of jogged my memory, actually. So these guys I didn't actually have down, but because you just mentioned them, I think it ties in quite nicely. Smooth the Hustler and Trigger the Gambler. I'm gonna put them together.
Mileage. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna leave them for you then. You can talk about it.
Oh no, you sure? I don't mind, bro.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah, I got loads, man. I've got loads. So the next one I'm gonna go for is Miss Jade. So just in case people ain't up on Miss Jade, she was signed to Timbaland's Beat Club. Around early 2000s, 2001, 2002. So Timbaland was absolutely killing it. Aaliyah, Missy, remixes, Timbaland and Magoo album. He was literally just Jay-Z, like he was doing everything. So every producer who was killing it had to have a label. Like that was the thing that happened after you were the biggest producer. You had to have a record label. So he had Bubba Sparks, he had Miss Jade. So the Miss Jade single, the first single I heard from her was Feel the Girl.
Mm-hmm.
The beat alone was crazy. I'll never forget that. I listen to that song still to this day. Like that song is crazy. So when I heard her flow on that tune, I was like, yeah, this girl, she's got it. Like she's gonna be the next big thing. Then her next single was called Big Head. And it was like, get your big head on the floor. Da, da, da. That was another big song. So a lot of my friends, DJs, so around the clubs, they would play both of them songs and they'd always get like a good reaction. Again, dope production. So when I got the album, she had Jay-Z on there, she had Missy, she had Like it was a good album. So the first maybe half of it, super dope. Tailed off a little bit towards the end. I think she even had Nelly Furtado on there before Timbo and Nelly Furtado did their thing later on.
Exactly.
But I like the album, man. It was good. And then again, I think there was some label issues. A lot of people were saying, you know, Timbaland wasn't a great record label exec and all this, which I think is unfair. A lot of times when people level that at, because a lot of times they don't know the business, man. They just know how to make beats, or they just know how to rap, but they're not good business people. So you hear a lot of labels that start and they with all the best intentions. I'm going to bring my people on. I'm going to put my people on, whatever. But a lot of times it don't work out because they're not business people. So Miss J she kind of fell off. I think Bubba Sparks got 2 or 3 albums on that label. So his debut, there was an album called Deliverance, which was really well produced. Yeah. But Miss J, she only had that one album, and then then that was it, man. And I never heard from her again. I think a few years ago she'd done a freestyle that's on YouTube somewhere, and then it was like album coming soon, but that never happened. So again, it could be, you know, she never found a label, or she just decided not to bother, or whatever it may be. But I thought she was dope, man. I thought she had something. So it was kind of disappointing that it never quite worked out to where it should have got to.
Yeah. Feel that, man. And that's why I like discussions like this, man, because totally forgot about it, to be honest. I don't even think I listened to the whole album, if I'm being honest. I think I had
the album was good, man. You had Count It Off, you had Big Head, you had Feel the Girl, you had a few tunes on there. That tune with Jay-Z was hard. That beat was crazy.
I think I had some kind of DJ promo, which had about 5 or 6 tracks on it, which I thought were decent. And she could definitely do her thing, but never really tapped into the whole thing. I don't think I even thought about it when it dropped or anything like that. But she's another one. She's never ever crossed my mind again. But you made a good point though about it being the done thing now to have a label at that point. It was almost like you got signed. I remember reading an interview about Memphis Bleak, or Memphis Bleak, and he was like, you know, like when you got signed to a label, almost the next thing was almost like, I want my own label or my own clothing line as well. It's like it was just a trend. So you have all these people, like they're not even just promoting the label they've just signed to, they're now promoting the label they signed to, their own label, their clothing line, and all these people that are like, getting tagged to these things. They're just falling by the wayside, you know what I'm saying? Which is a shame, because there's going to be a lot of good artists that we never heard from.
Right.
I was watching a thing last week. I know I mentioned it last week as well, but the Dreads from Black Sheep documentary last week, and you know, just because of some of the issues, they're resolved now, but some of the issues he's having with the D&D project, the Drez and Dilla project, they said that it might be shelved at that time. And the lawyer, the entertainment lawyer, was saying it would blow your mind the amount of albums that are completed
that we never hear.
Yeah, never heard them. Just because of a little discrepancy or issue or label thing here.
Label don't want to put it out. The artist leaves the label. Just like if you sit down and think about the albums that we've been promised down the years that have been finished, we've heard many. The most recent example I could think of, Method Man and Havoc. They've been saying for the last
3 years, bro,
that we've got an album finished. All right, let's hear it. Nah. So if we sat down and thought about it, bro, that would piss me right off. Like all the music that we just never hear. That is.
And imagine that artist as well. Like you know what I mean? I'm sure we've all tried, you know what I mean, rapped and done a little thing. Imagine like pouring out everything into like, I don't know, 12, 13, 14, 15 tracks, getting producers, laying them down, concepts, all of that, having a finished project, and it never seeing the light of day.
Slaughterhouse, another one. We'll never hear that.
Yeah, it's actually
part of the game, man. Part of the game. Those wasted rhymes, bro. And you know, sometimes where you record a verse or whatever, and then like you've hit it on the head, like you've killed it. You'll never be able to do that performance again. It's captured it's captured, and then it's like, nah, it's never gonna come out. So you end up maybe doing the verse for another song, but it's just never as good as that moment that you had that time.
Yeah,
man.
Actually, mad. Things, that kind of takes me nicely into the people that I was going to mention before. Smooth the Hustler and Trigger the Gambler. Reason why I said it kind of takes me nicely in as well, because when I was thinking about the two of them, I think they're sick. I think they really are. Trigger's voice is incredible. Like whether he's singing, rapping, sick. Like he had that touch. Like I think he would have been that. No, I ain't saying he's a Nate Dogg, so don't come for me. But you know what I mean. There's only one Nate Dogg, we know that. But what I'm saying is, I think Trigger would have had that touch though. Like he could have really added that element to tracks.
Trigger had those melodies, man.
Yeah, man. So, but the reason why I said it led me in because his album never dropped, and I remember it was in the source.
Because I've got.
Nah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I've got it. But I can say
did it come out?
It didn't. It never came out.
I was gonna say. No, I never heard it, bro. Never ever heard it. I remember seeing it advertised in the source, like the wanted sign. I remember the promotion for it, and I was thinking, yeah, this is going to be hard because, like I said, around that time, obviously the Blase was on there, where Smooth had done that verse backwards. I thought that was sick. Smooth's album was hard. So Once Upon a Time in America, that album I think underrated, man. Definitely needs more attention. Hard album. I feel like Smooth is what people want Big L to be, and I know that's going to sound like a madness because no one talks about Smooth and Big L is almost worshipped now. But when you really look at them and how they rap and a lot of different things about them, Smooth really reminds me of a Big L, but just without the worship. You know what I'm saying? There's this thing about, and I ain't taking anything away from Big L. It's an incredible MC. But there definitely is that thing about him where I don't know if him even signing to Rockefeller and dropping, I don't know what that actually would have done for him, bro. Like, I don't know if that actually would have been a good move. Commercially, yeah, but I don't know what it would have done for his art.
I'm not sure if I believe that because he kept on talking about flamboyant entertainment. He was like,
all the time.
He was like, you guys can sign with me. So if he's got flamboyant entertainment, why would he sign with Rockefeller? So I
think it's the same thing we were just saying though, bro. Like,
I'm not just
signed to a major than having your own thing, because he was talking flamboyant for years, especially all over that Big Picture album. Every track flamboyant.
Exactly.
But he was definitely on the
Rockefeller wasn't a label. Well, it was a label, but it was an independent label. It wasn't a major. So Rockefeller was still signed to Def Jam. So there's you wouldn't have flamboyant signed to Rockefeller signed to Def Jam. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really know what what that would have been, but I agree with you, man. I think if he had his own thing and he had whoever he was going to put on, we'll never get to know who that was or what it was going to be.
Would have been hard, definitely.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Smooth was super dope.
Incredible, man. It just didn't get the shine or the attention. Like, God forbid, I ain't trying to like really sound harsh here, but if something happened to him at that time, people would have been thinking like, right, man, because don't get me wrong, Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous is a hard album, bro, but I ain't having all this top classic 5 all time.
Yeah,
no. Like, it's not. It's really not. No. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, I just feel like Smooth could have very easily been that guy. He did drop a few projects after that, but you know, it's just kind of, unless you was like a proper hardcore fan following everything he was dropping. And I'd say I was a fan, but I didn't even know, catch wind about them a lot. Whether it was the label he was on, the promotion weren't there, I don't know. But yeah, so hearing that, fan of his, Smooth, Trigger, like, yeah, I think it was the I Can't Go For That track as well, and the
I love that song, man. And all that. I love that song so much, man.
Yeah, just everything, man. It's just, yeah, I thought these guys
the way they flipped that song as well, man. Like that wasn't an easy kind of track to make into a rap song. But the way that they did it, yeah, and DV Alias Christ, that's another MC that I absolutely love. Yeah. Him and Lord Have Mercy had that tune on Lyricist Lounge. I think it's called Holy Water.
Yeah.
Bro, I was waiting for that guy to drop an album. Both of them, DV and Lord Have Mercy. I would have taken both of them like albums immediately, because DV dropped an album last year, funny enough, which I've got.
I was going to say,
yeah, I've got it, but I need to get to it, man. I haven't got around to listening to it. Lord Have Mercy would have definitely made this list, but the reason I can't really say him is because he doesn't really have anything solo. Like, the only stuff he has is features or the Flip Mode album. So yeah, man. But yeah, I totally agree with those, man. Smooth and Trigger. I'm gonna send you the Trigger album once we finish this, man.
Yeah, do that, bro. I've never heard it. I didn't even know it came out. I thought it was one of those ones where, like, man, I'm never gonna hear this. Get me?
Nah, it never came out, man. But I got my hands on it. So yeah, I'll send it to you.
Nice one, yeah. Nice one, yeah, bro. But yeah, I appreciate that, man. What you got next?
My next one, I don't know if it'll be one of your faves, man. But actually, let me see. I've got so many, man. I'm gonna have to run through these when we're done.
Yeah.
Who should I go for next? I will go for. I want to say Nocturnal. So Nocturnal, he came out kind of late 90s ish. So do you remember that film, The Wash, with Dre and Snoop?
Snoop, yeah.
Yeah. So Nocturnal had Super Ugly, or whatever that song was called.
Yeah.
Super Ugly. So that was a big tune in the clubs of that. Dr. Dre on production, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So everyone and Nocturnal was kind of Snoop. He had the braids. He was tall, light skinned, Crip. So everyone was like, "Oh, this guy's gonna be the next Snoop Dogg or whatever." That song was big. But again, like his album just never came, and it's one of them. It's Dre in it, you know what I mean? Dre signs these guys, hypes them. There's another one on my list who was also kind of in the same boat. Dre's like, yeah, this guy's the next this, that, the other. Put him on the soundtrack, and then nothing. There was just nothing after that. Then it was like, oh, there's an EP coming out. I was like, yes, I'm ready. The EP came out. There's no Dre beats on there. So straight away, I was just like, what is this, man? I played it. There was one song I liked. The rest of it was garbage. So I was like, all right, we'll wait and see if the album ever comes out. I think something came out. I'm not sure if it was a full album or what, but it wasn't what we should have got. It wasn't Aftermath, you know. So I don't know what happened to him. But I thought he was next up, man. He was like in between kind of Snoop and Nipsey. Just like his whole aesthetic, the whole braids and LA and all that kind of shit. So I thought that he had it, man. I thought he was next, but his name was a bit whack. Nocturnal was a bit trash. But the whole Dr. Dre co-sign, I expected big things, but never came to fruition. So yeah, I don't know what he's doing now, but I don't think he created. At the time, his buzz was crazy, but if someone was to say it now, I don't think many people would even remember him, unfortunately.
No. And I think it was his era, his time, innit? Because, like you said, the Dre co-sign, when you're thinking about around them times as well, man, anything that was coming out of that camp was going to blow. Do you know what I'm saying? Exactly. I think that would have been around Dre's 2001 album. Do you know what I mean? So just anything around that time, man, it was just like, it was going to blow. Do you know what I'm saying? And that would have been his time. But Dre might be one of the biggest culprits for discussions like we're having today.
100%. 100%, man. He's guilty. He's guilty for a lot of this.
Trust me, like at the minute he posts a picture in the studio with an artist, like
then I just know it's never happened.
Man. Don't get excited. Bro, don't get excited.
Look at that Marsha album, right?
Marsha, exactly what I was thinking.
Was it 2 years ago? Yeah, finished the album in 2 weeks. So I think I tweeted at the time. I was like, we ain't never hearing this shit, right? So I think towards the end of last year, I tweeted and said something like, didn't Dre promise us an album with Marsha, like however many years ago? Never seen it. Like took 2 weeks to record and we're never going to hear it. So then literally about a week later, Marsha drops, oh yeah, here's the single. Everyone's going crazy. So then I was like, all right, cool. Still no album. You know what I mean? So I doubt we'll ever get to hear it, man. But you get used to it.
I don't know what it is, Jay, man. I don't know what it is with Dre. I dread to think how much of his own music he's probably got. Like he probably dropped the content album like 5 years old.
Just to be an artist, to be around him and know that your shit ain't never coming out. Like it must be very disheartening. Because the way that I've heard that he just ripped his MCs anyway, it's like, do that verse again. Like I can't remember who it was. He was saying they recorded their verse like 20 times or more. Like I don't like that. Yeah. So you're a perfectionist. I get it. All right, fine. But to not like his vault must be bursting at the seams. You've had every producer, you've had every artist in there, and he's only released what 2.5 albums, because that Compton album, that was a cop out, man. Let's be real about it. That was a complete cop out. So
what do
I'll
you mean?
give
Why
him.
do you say that? Because you was expecting Detox.
Everyone's expecting Detox, and you've given us some Compton album, and then tied in
a
as a
soundtrack.
soundtrack
Yeah.
to that was a
Yeah.
cop out, bro. I'm sorry, it
You done
was.
that, to take pressure off. I actually liked it.
Yeah,
That's why I asked and thing. But I
that
think
took the
you put
pressure
the
off
pressure off
anyone
yourself.
saying,
Yeah,
this ain't Detox. So if you say it's a
Detox only.
soundtrack to a movie,
Yeah,
but the movie weren't even called Compton, the movie was called Straight Outta Compton. So he was trying to play with us a little bit.
he
Because
wanted
he
to
was
drop
like,
something.
if people don't
Yeah,
like this, then I can say that it's just a soundtrack rather than just
right.
saying it's an album. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So yeah, man. I don't know. It's the Dre bug,
yeah.
innit? But yeah.
But
Not
no,
a
I
fan.
hear you though. Yeah, that's a good shout on that one. All right, so I'm gonna go with Fruit Stickins, bro. I'm gonna go with Fruit Stickins. Reason being, I like the Fruit Stickins, man. The first album was decent. What was that? 1991 or something? No,
Yeah, about
92. I think.
91,
Yeah,
92. Yeah.
91, 92. Yeah. That album was cool. It had I like the singles and that. I thought it was all right. But the second album, 94, Nervous Breakdown, I
Breakdown.
love that.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Love
album
that.
was
I
crazy.
killed
There's
that.
only like
Yeah.
9 or 10 songs on there. It was very
Yeah,
short.
very short. Very short.
But I liked it.
But yeah, I enjoyed it, man. Like the reason Fushnikins annoy me though is because it's like they're a group, but once again, it's chip food. It's all chip food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all chip food. Chip food, you know, chip food. It's all chip food. The only one that's like got any kind of like who I want to hear the verses from. Mark,
Right.
I ain't really interested in. Is it Puck Fu? He's not bad. Like he's all right. You get me? But Chip Fu's the one that really holds like all the tracks down.
Yeah.
And for me, I just think he was way ahead of his time because he was fun. He was like humorous. The way he brought in all the cartoon characters and all that. People can look at that and say it was cheesy, corny, ridiculous. But bro, do you know how much talent that would have took? Like he's sneezing on tracks, hiccuping on tracks. I remember when I first played Nervous Breakdown, one of the tracks like
He keeps out the hatch.
Yeah, bro, thank you. That's exactly what I was going to say.
I was like, what's going on?
And I ran to the record, bro. I ran to the record. Skip. This guy's mad, you know. Like, so I think he's an incredible artist, man.
Yeah, he was very creative.
And I'm mentioning them because obviously nothing else after that Nervous Breakdown, and I thought that would have been the album that would have probably got, you know what I mean, their attention a bit more. Obviously, they done the whole thing with Shaq, which obviously was a big track because it was Shaq and all of that. And then Chip Fu still like dropped a lot of freestyles and things like that. Like for a while, around I don't know, 5 years ago or so, he was dropping freestyles on like Facebook and Twitter and different things like that. And he's hard, bro. Like I'd actually be very interested in hearing something from him now, but we just don't ever get anything. So they're one of those crews, man. It would have been good to hear a little bit more and see what else came off of it. Like leaders of the new school, even if it was just Buster doing his own thing and doing what he was doing, fine. But just nothing else. And I feel Chip Fu had that potential to be like a Buster to leaders, to him, to freestyles. I think if Chip Fu had the right backing and went on a solo, he would have been like another Buster, like animated, colourful, skillful. He could have done it like that. So it's disappointing that nothing else came with them. But I always think of them. I think of tracks that I liked or albums.
How much of a shelf life their music could have had realistically? Because if you think about it, their music was very kind of, and I don't mean this in any kind of disrespectful way, but it was very like for our age group. I think it would have slapped. But could you imagine listening to What's Up Doc now? Like if you'd never heard it before, but you heard What's Up Doc today, as a at our age.
Yeah,
would we take it seriously? We'd be like, what is this?
So
but I just don't think that even their names, the Fushnikins, like no one's gonna be running around like, I don't know. I just don't think that their music would have had much of a shelf life. Like even their names, Chip Fu, Bok Fu, and whatever. I get it. It's a gimmick at the time. So for 92, all right, cool. I was like 11, 12, whatever at that time. So fine, that's literally my catchment, but it's not gonna grow with me. Like I'm not gonna play that. I don't know. I just don't. I think that for their time, they did their thing, but I don't think they're a group that could have continuously dropped. Like no one's gonna be listening to Some Dumb Monkey and all these crazy What's Up,
But that's where the nostalgia comes in. Yeah, that's where the nostalgia comes in, because I can easily put on Nervous Breakdown now and vibe. But I ain't gonna lie, a huge percentage of that is gonna be the nostalgic value, innit? If I'm hearing that for the first time now, never heard of these guys, it's just comical, innit?
Yeah.
But that's where nostalgia comes. But when you heard Chick Fu still doing his stuff, that shows you that he would have developed on.
Chick Fu maybe, yeah, but the other two, I never really cared about.
No, I don't think that's what I mean. It would have been all Chick Fu.
Yeah. Like Chick Fu was different. He was, but again, like the people want to hear Looney Tunes stuff in their raps. Like, I don't know. I think for what they did, it was fine. Yeah, and I think that was enough for me personally. I wouldn't necessarily want to be hearing more and more of this.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I thought, because he weren't doing that now. That's why I thought I would like to have heard more. Because when you hear like some of the freestyles that he was dropping now, he's not doing as much. I mean, he's still animated, like Buster's still animated or what have you. But he's not doing you know what I mean, like Speedy Gonzalez and all that. But you can see that he's still got that skill. Do you know what I mean?
It'll be interesting to hear what he would do in this kind of climate. It'll be interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, cool. But I did like the Future Stickers, man. Their first two albums. Definitely the second one was better than the first to me.
Definitely.
So yeah, but definitely more nostalgia than anything else for me. Okay, my next one, I'm gonna go for Dead Prez, man. So like, amazing debut album, hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm an African. Blah 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 blah. Loud Records, peak of their powers. That was around what 99 ish. Lyricist Sounds, all that stuff is out. So that first single, probably one of the greatest hip hop songs ever, in my opinion. The beat, the what they're saying, what they were saying on that song, however many years ago, still resonates heavy today. Even that verse, "Who shot Biggie Smalls? If we don't get them, they're gonna get us all." Like that whole verse where he's talking about like, what are you gonna do if you can't make another hit and all it. Like everything he said on that verse was absolutely spot on. Like if you think this is gonna feed your kids, it's not. MCs get a little bit of love and think they're hot. Like that's literally what's happening now. MCs are getting a little bit of love on Twitter. They think that they're the hottest shit. Like that was almost like a prophetic song. Like just amazing. So yeah, I think the album's universally praised. Really dope album.
It's a brilliant album.
And the thing is, like, they just came out of nowhere. Like, it wasn't like there was a build-up. It was just like hip hop came out, the album came out, killed it, and there wasn't no big producers on there or anything like that. Where people were like, oh, let me look for a Just Blaze beat or whatever. And then the second album came out, Revolutionary but Gangster. It had a Jay-Z feature on there. Had one of my favorite songs on there. I can't remember the name of it, but he's literally just talking about his day, and he's like the training, the this, the that, the this, the that, and
I
love that song. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, the album wasn't as good as the debut, but there were some songs on there that I really liked. I love what they're saying, like a lot of their messaging and stuff like that, just very dope. They dropped a couple mixtapes. Turn Off the Radio, which I totally agree with. They're like, turn off that bullshit. Like, they ain't feeding your soul, that kind of stuff. And then again, disappeared. Like, super talented. I think M1 was still doing, or was it Stickman? One of the two was still doing like production and stuff like that.
I think M1,
Yeah. And I think Stickman has done, I think he wrote for some people. People was trying to say that he wrote the NL. Yeah. But then they said J Electronica, so I was like, which one is it, bro? It can't be both. But that was all nice. Definitely, that was all nice. So yeah, I think they were super talented, man, and kind of just didn't hear nothing after the RBG album, apart from the mixtapes. A
couple mixtapes, They're still touring though. Like they've been over a couple of times since, like really small venues, but like they've been over. There's a guy I know was doing a bit of promotion, and he brought them over. And they was in the Midlands. They didn't even go to London, but it's in the Midlands. Probably, I don't know, about 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago. And I think they was over probably about, was it last year? don't know, maybe, but recently as well. So they still do a little bit of shows, but then once again, most of it's just off the back of that, the first album. And then, as you know,
first album.
you go to show or club, whatever, hip hop comes on, that's it. Do you know what I mean? So obviously they can still be doing that for a while, but yeah, I agree. Like they had the content there. The reason I mentioned about them still touring and stuff like that, because there ain't no, as far as I know, they still seem to have good chemistry and like no beef and all that. So you know what I mean? They could probably still be. I think people would still be interested if they drop something now. Do you know what I mean?
I would hope so, man, because their content, like, you know what I mean? There's no shelf life for the stuff that they was talking about. Yeah. But to be honest with you, I think that their stuff was a little bit too real for radio. Do you know what I mean? The stuff that they was talking about, I think some labels were like, I ain't gonna put this out. Like, these guys are talking too much sense. We need to keep those guns and drugs and bitches and blacks. We need to keep that shit there. We don't want them to be spewing this knowledge. There's just got to be a reason that they was removed, bro. And everyone around that time who was doing that kind of spiritual knowledge of self kind of music, you don't hear from them now. You know what I mean? So there's got to be a concerted effort to remove that kind of positive.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Like the track when he says, the day a family member signs up for the army, that's the day they're dead to me. Like, it's like it's harsh. Like, it's like, raw, okay. Like, you know what I mean? They had no kind of filter or nothing. They was just like, yeah, people ain't necessarily gonna handle that kind of talk. But nah, think about a track like Mindsets as well. Like the depth of like bro, like I'd definitely be up to hearing something. But yeah, no, that's a good shout. There are people that definitely should be dropping something. Okay, I'm gonna go with. Let me see who I've got. I'm gonna go with Channel Live. I
literally tweeted about that.
Did you? I didn't even see it. What did you say?
I was just like, what did you guys think of Channel Live kind of thing? Because I was listening to them. I was like, I haven't heard these dudes in a minute. So.
Oh yeah, you had to see that. That was a while back, innit? Yeah, that was a while ago, innit? Yeah, but a couple
weeks ago.
Yeah, I remember now. Definitely Channel Live. I mean, for me, like the album weren't that memorable for me. I definitely tapped in, but there's probably like the singles, Reprogram and Madism were the best songs. Yeah.
What was the other song called? Reprogram. Yeah, that's the one. Reprogram.
They were hard. Madism, no. 5 mic single for me, man. Like that's just it. Doesn't matter when, how, where.
6 incredible. Everything about that song is just incredible. Trust me. Do you know another song that on that's absolutely sick?
What's that?
Free Mamiya off the KRS-One album.
Yeah. KRS-One album, yeah, definitely. I mean, they had like
they were on some tunes, bro. They were on some tunes, but yeah, that's a really good shout, man.
Yeah, Channel Live
called Armageddon, which I thought was a really
that's right. That's right. But that was like a while after, innit?
Yeah, so I think they
was time after again.
By then, yeah.
So
yeah. But again, bro, very similar to Dead Prez. You know what I mean? They was talking, very smart, conscious stuff. They disappear. Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, Madim's a song for me. As soon as that comes on again, it always makes us say, let me check out that album again. So I mean, I've gone back to it a few times. And I think, so it's a decent album. Do you know what I mean? But like, it dropped in 95. Do you know what I mean? Say no more. 95, one of the best years for hip hop. So it's easy to go under the radar. But yeah, I thought it was good. I know one of them solo does his own thing still. I think he's still dropping music.
That's the light skin one with the dreads.
Yeah, well, he's bald now, but yeah, Hakeem Green.
I can't remember.
Hakeem Green or something like that.
That's it. Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? That was I thought they had the potential to do some more. Do you know what I'm saying? With KRS-One as well back in. I mean, he produced Madism, man. It's like, they could have got a lot more heat coming. Do you know what I mean? But
Madism is such an incredible song, man.
Bro, man. Like, it's one of those. If I had to really compile a favorite songs list, it would be there.
So good. I remember the first time I heard that song and I was just fucking blown away, man. And even up to this day, if that song comes on, you just have to hear it. KRS just commands that. Like, that's a masterful MC performance.
Yeah, man. Trust me. Yeah, I didn't even know who they were when I heard that song. I knew nothing about them.
I thought it was a
Nothing
KRS
about
song.
them. I was just gonna say,
yeah,
I just thought it was a KRS track.
The
Yeah,
way that
and I'm like, right. And Reprogram was hard as well. I like that as well. But they're the two best songs of the album.
Just like a bass line. The dun, dun, dun,
yeah.
Dun, dun. Yeah, that was hard. Yeah.
I mean, it's never a good thing when the singles are the best songs because there's not really anything else to fall in love with. You know what I mean? But they're still hard songs, man. But yeah, Madison. 5 microphones.
Yeah, that's a good shout, bro. I think what put me off the album was there was a couple tunes on there. There was something called Alpha and Omega, I think. Was a tune on there.
Yeah.
And the hook was gonna play you sucker MCs like Sega, and I was like, this just sounds stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a few things that put me off, but yeah, they had the songs that were good were absolutely good. Like
exactly
and Madism, crazy. Yeah, that's a great shout, bro. It's a really good shout. All right, man. I'm gonna go slightly left field with the next one, and I'm gonna go for Rich Boy. So Rich Boy, Throw Some D's is probably one of my favorite like songs in hip hop of all time. That song is incredible to me, man. Just everything about it, I love the beat, the hook, everything. I didn't really get into the album, but he had a couple tunes, man.
I didn't.
I won't be able to tell you the names of them off top. But I thought he was next up because that was around like 06-ish, around that kind of time where like hip hop was kind of changing. But there was just something that even to this day, that song I still love.
Yeah.
And then he disappeared. Just one of them. So I thought he was going to be the next. And then his producer, Polo the Don, he was doing stuff for everybody at that point. Like everybody wanted beats from him. So I don't know if that was a thing or that was what caused him to go or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, Rich Boy, I think he missed his time because if he capitalized on that single, the way people love that song to this day, if he capitalized on that, he could have been. I don't know what he could have been. But yeah, I really like that.
It's got to be label issues when it's like that. And you've got a big song like that, and then you disappear. It's got to be label issues. I mean, unless it's like personal circumstances, you know what I mean? But it's got to be like, because why would you not? Like now is that time. Like,
why would you not capitalize on something that huge?
Yeah.
Like that song was 20 years ago ish, and if you put that on in the club now, it will still go crazy to this day.
I actually totally forgot about it, and that's what I mean. It's not even one. Some songs they have that nostalgic value where you just always think about it. I don't know why, as big as that was, I just not really thought about it, him or that again until you brought it up. You know what I mean?
The whole purpose of the show, man, to remind you of these guys.
Yeah, man. Exactly, man. Yeah, that's a good shout, man. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, bro.
You got next, man.
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna go with Illegal. I'm gonna go with Illegal.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Malik and Jamal. I know that's a little bit of cheating because Jamal's still doing this. Well, not still, but you know, he went on. He dropped an album, Def Squad, the whole thing like that. I know people always think of Def Squad, they just think of, you know what I mean, Red, Eric Sermon, and Keith. But you got to throw Jamal in the equation at some point as well. And that was exciting times, man. I enjoyed that whole Def Squad. Like we spoke about maybe last week or the one before. Last Charts, No Breaks, I thought was a decent album. Do you know what I mean? Jamal. Features, I enjoyed some of his features as well, whether it was on Junior Mafia or Busta Rhymes or something. Mr. Malik, same thing. We know that he killed his features, man. You look at the Warren G album, you look at the Snoop albums. What else was he on? I think he done a couple R&B things. I know he done something with
Monica.
Yeah, exactly. But he could rap, man. Like he was actually really good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as a crew, I don't really know what happened to them. Like why they went off in that complete opposite directions. Obviously, Malik
was together for Rowdy Records. So as a little duo when they was kids, I think they was kind of pushed together. Then because I think Malik's from the West Coast and Jamal's from Philly. So
Philly,
man. So it was a shame because that was big for me when that came out. And I remember I had to get the album on promo, and it was because it wasn't released over here.
Nah.
So to get it, I had to pay a little bit extra just to get my hands on it, man. But it was actually a good album. Like there was Marley Marl on there, Eric Sermon on there. Yeah, really good album, man. I liked it a lot.
Finesse, I think he done something on there as well.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
it was hard, man. I thought they were good. I don't like all that kiddie rap. Like, obviously, I went into Crisscross. I do like their second album. I do like that album. The Young Rich and
that was the third album. The second one was the Bomber. Yeah.
Yes, bro. You're right.
Young Rich and Dangerous was the third album.
Yeah, that one is the only one I think's decent. They got some alright songs in there. I don't mind that one at all. But I'm not really like into like kiddie rappers like. But Illegal felt hard, man. Like, do you know what I mean? When they dropped He Gets Busy, I was like, oh, this is like. And I say kiddie rappers, we would have been about their age when that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it resonated so much.
Yeah. Right, exactly. But even though we were the same age, like we came up listening to obviously people older than us, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? So when people our age dropped music, it felt like kiddie rap. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, the youngsters dropped a couple decent singles actually. Their albums weren't bad as well.
But the youngsters never knew who they were. The youngsters wanted to be. They wanted to be phonics. They wanted to be like
naughty. They
had no identity, so I could never really rock with them. Do you know what I mean? I was like, "Who are you?" Legal, they were just bad kids. Like I just knew straight away. They were just mad. You know what I'm saying?
Came out dissing all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Eric Sermon, I was a big Eric Sermon fan.
Good. That's the thing.
Exactly. And you know, like we said earlier, certain cosigns. You know what I mean? That would have been off the back of Eric Sermon's album. Do you know what I mean? So obviously being an EPMD fan, Eric Sermon fan, them bringing out obviously Redman and all that, and then bringing Illegal, like the interest was already there. And the album, the single was good, the album was good.
They had the right people behind them as well. You got Snoop behind
them.
Snoop and the Dog Pound. You got Def Scott behind Jamal. Like you said, the features were crazy. The album was really good. They literally had everything. Even their debut single back in the day. That back in the day track.
Yeah.
What they were talking about on there. Crazy. So yeah, man, that's a really good shout. They really should have been bigger.
And more.
Yeah,
man. Who you got?
All right, man. I'm gonna go for Stat Quo. So Stat Quo.
Yes.
Another Dr. Dre casualty.
Yeah.
I remember vividly when this was around when Aftermath were killing it. Like you had Obi Trice and then Dr. Dre did a song with Stat Quo. It's like a freestyle. I can't remember the name of it. It's like 8 minutes. And it's just Stat Quo going crazy. Just rapping over this instrument. And then Dr. Dre keeps going, I'm gonna sign this nigga. I'm gonna sign him. He's like, go again. And then he's just rapping. And Dre's like, yeah, I want to sign this guy. Like, he's hard. And everyone was going crazy. Like, this guy is next. And he was like, I'm the only one aside from 50 that signed to Shady and Aftermath. So he was co-signed by M and Dre. So the hype was crazy. And he was from Atlanta. So waiting for the album, expecting it to come out. Nothing happens. Then we get the single. I can't remember what you called it, but basically Giggs took the beat, and everyone thought "Talking the Hardest" was an original Giggs song.
Oh yeah.
Not knowing that beat was Stat Quo's beat way before Giggs got hold of it.
Yeah.
So the fact that Giggs' song is bigger than Stat Quo's version maybe shouldn't have happened because Stat Quo was definitely next. But he did address it. He did Dear Summer Part 1, Dear Summer Part 2, where he spoke about getting signed to Aftermath. And he said he told a story about he had said something in a meeting that offended Eminem, and then that was kind of, then they cancelled his video, they cancelled this, they cancelled that, got dropped off the label. So I was like, what the hell did he say to Eminem?
I did hear that. Yeah. Only recently though. I only heard that recently.
Yeah, this dropped years ago, bro. This was like this was like 10 years ago or more.
Yeah, I only heard that.
I literally told his story, man. And he went over the Dear Summer like beat that Jay-Z used.
I haven't heard the song. I mean, I heard the reason for reason, but I haven't heard.
No, you need to hear that. You need to hear that song. Dear Summer Part 1, Dear Summer Part 2.
Okay, really definitely.
Yeah, so he documents like what happened. But yeah, just a shame. I think he went into artist management with he was doing something with the game. So I think he went into either he was managing artists or A&R in or something along those lines. But he doesn't rap anymore, basically. But that's a damn shame because he was good, man. He was really good.
He got blackballed basically because
whatever he said about he said on the song, he says, I said a joke to M and he took it wrong. So I don't know what the joke was, but the things that M has said to people over the years and like no one does nothing to him, he can't take a joke himself. So I'm like, all right, whatever, man. It is what it is.
See, it depends on your Stat Quo didn't have enough not buzz, but he didn't have enough weight to him because you look at the whole thing that happened when 50 dropped his headphones. Dre was pissed about that. And that's why they fell out because Dre was like, headphones, like, this is my thing. This is what I'm doing. So he felt it was disrespectful to Dre for 50 to do headphones as well.
Dre that was pissed. It was Jimmy Iovine. Jimmy Iovine.
Yeah, but we know they're cool.
His handler. Yeah. But think about it, bro. If I got my own line of headphones, right, and they're doing well, and you're like, bro, I need a piece of that pie. Do you know what I'd be like, bro? Make your money, man.
Do your thing. Like, it's not going to take anything away from.
It's not going to take nothing away from me.
That's established beats were about it.
Have relationships in hip hop where someone's doing well, someone else decides to go there, and then they start getting jealous about, why is this guy doing this? Bro, if you're my guy, I want you to fucking win, whatever it takes. Like if I have to give you some startup money or whatever, you get started and do your thing. I'm happy for you to be successful. Like I can't understand these dudes. He's got headphones too. Don't make no sense to me, man.
Beats were like well established. It would have took nothing away, man. But yeah, good shout. Right, I'm looking at the time. We're just gonna throw out a couple that I got left.
Yeah.
And then you do the same and you can close. So I did mention Rampage. I had Rampage on my list. Sorry. You know what I mean? Dropped on the
Last Boy Scout.
Say that again. Yeah. Buster's cousin. Last Boy Scout, Rampage. I think he debuted on Leader's album, the Time album. And obviously we know, features done obviously the whole Flip Mode Squad stuff. Dropped his solo album. For me, I was bitterly disappointed with that album because Wild for the Night is another one. Like ridiculous. Jesus, you know what I mean? Like, that beat, when I heard that, I was like, nah. And then like he I don't know the order, I can't remember now, but then he dropped one single with what's that white girl's name?
That Billy something.
Billy something, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, what's man? Obviously you need that little radio reach, but
that wasn't it, man.
Just working. There's only 2 songs on that album I like, and I think it was Flip Mode Enemy #1 or something with the Public Enemy sample.
You didn't like the night before my shit drop. That was hard.
Actually, that one as well. And Wild for the Night.
That was hard.
They're the only 3, but the rest of it was like, nah, I ain't feeling it.
Man, he has some beats on that album. DJ Scratch went crazy on some of those beats, man.
And that's the thing. I remember
his rapping was never the best, but some of those.
No, but he had a sick voice though. Which can carry through sometimes. Sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm actually going to revisit that album, but I just remember only liking those couple songs and thinking, but we, like I said, we were spoiled, man. So sometimes, like, something you're like not immediately grabbed by it. You're like, you know what I mean? But
if you go back to it, you'd probably be like, maybe I was a bit harsh on that. Maybe you weren't that.
And I've done that loads of times, bro. So I've actually started going back to some older ones that I thought I didn't like. But yeah. But he has dropped stuff since, but still, Buster's his cousin, an icon. You think, man?
He dropped what, Demographics, and he dropped Have You Seen?
Yeah, Have You Seen? Yeah.
Yeah. So he's dropped some stuff here and there. Yeah.
But you just think he'd be a bit more prominent, you know what I mean? Especially with Buster being his cousin. You'd think like,
because I know Buster and Split Star is still like this. Like Split Star is still Buster's hype man on the show to this day.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know what Rampage is doing now. I thought when the Flip Mode reunion was happening maybe 5 years ago, I thought that was going to be, but nothing really came of it.
Exactly. So before I chuck over to you, I'm just going to name these. These are the three that I had on my list. Ill Scratch. I think for me, second album didn't really tap in. The first album was decent for me. Don't Shut Down on the Play off the New Jersey Drive soundtrack. The track they done with Shaq on Shaq's album actually 1-2. No, 1-2 past it. It's gone for me. Might check 1-2. And the other single that they had, not Don't Shut Down on the Player. What's the other big single that they had, man?
Where My Homies.
Where My Homies, yeah, of course.
Where My Homies and I'll Take Her.
Hard, bro.
Those were the two songs. I'll Take Her.
Yeah,
Rhyme at Night.
Yeah, Rhyme at Night. But that Don't Shut Down on the Player. Whew, that was my go-to on that New Jersey Drive soundtrack, man.
Do you know what's crazy? Their album was put together in 24 hours, apparently. That's why you got two versions of Where My Homies. You got two versions of
trying to meet it out.
And then they just filled it with crap around it. So it wasn't really.
That's why they're the best ones.
yeah. Because I think apparently they was like, let's see what the single does. The single went crazy. They weren't expecting it to go crazy. So they were like, right, let's put together an album. They quickly put together some album. So that's because I was like, why are there remixes on here as like original songs? But that's why.
It feels like fillers, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But it was literally put together real quick. That's why.
That makes a lot of sense, bro, because like I just said it, that they're the best songs, you get me? Off of there. I'll throw out All City as well. 98, they dropped Metropolis Gold with
that was Onyx's people.
Onyx's crew, yeah. They discovered them. I think they were on a couple of Onyx's albums as well.
Yeah,
they were decent. And last one I'll say Rotten Rascals. I actually thought they were dope, bro. Like
I've got the album to this day, Rotten to the Core. I've got that shit still.
I've never owned it, bro. Serious, I've never actually managed to get my hands on it physically, man.
Yeah,
but I thought one of them's like Tretch's little brother, isn't it?
That's right.
But I thought the album was okay. I mean, I've heard it, I just don't own it. The album was all right. I think it was similar to All City in a sense where I felt like there were quite a few pop reaches that took away from the album. But I thought they were hard. When they featured on tracks, like their features on Naughty's albums, and Poverty's Paradise, 1993. Can't remember if they was on. I don't think they was on Naughty by Nature.
No, I don't think they were. Were they on?
Don't think they were
on 1993.
Yeah, they were on 1993. Is it Hot Potato track?
Oh, yeah.
They were 1993, and obviously they're on Poverty's Paradise quite a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're a decent group, man. But yeah, they're mine. For time's sake, I'll throw over to you. They're the ones I had.
That's a really good shout, bro. That's out of nowhere.
Yeah, what bro.
Good shout, man. All right, man. I'm gonna run through these. Charlie Baltimore for obvious reasons.
Who did you say? Sorry,
Charlie Baltimore. So Biggie's.
Oh yes.
Biggie's side piece.
Yeah.
So she was meant to be the next big thing. She writes her own rhymes. She's hot. She's with Biggie, so we're expecting she's going to be part of the commission. Biggie made a big deal about her writing her own shit. I think she wrote a song called Ice or something like that. And
I think Money. Was Ice the album?
There was Money. Yeah, Money came out as a single, but the album never came because I think the album was Who Is Charlie Baltimore or something like that. We never got it.
Right. Yeah,
I got it on promo. And I think I listened to it once. It wasn't very good. That was.
I've never heard it all.
Yeah, I've got it somewhere. But yeah, you're not missing nothing, bro. It was pretty cool, to be honest. Afu Ra, J. Rue the Damages.
Good shout, man.
Jean Grey. So obviously Jean Grey, like super good. Haven't heard from her since 2018. She did an album with her partner. Kelly Chris. Haven't heard anything from her since. I don't know if she's retired because I know she was really pissed off with the industry. She was like, "Stop calling me a female MC," that kind of shit. Haven't heard from her since. Hitman, who was on the 2000, absolutely owned the 2001 album. I used to speak to him quite a bit on Twitter actually, but I haven't seen him around for a minute, so I hope he's good. Ace Hood was never really a favorite of mine, but I think he's doing a lot in like health. I think like I saw a clip of him the other day. He's doing like lifting weights and all that kind of shit. Roscoe P. Coltrane. Now this dude, he's got a verse.
Did you hear
Bro, have you heard the Hus Kingpin's new project?
Yes, bro. That's what I was gonna say. His verse on that is
verse on that.
Wow. This is bad. Yeah, that's hard, man. Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
I was listening to the album in the car, right? Minding my business. This guy comes out of nowhere. I'm like, what? Like he killed that. So
yeah, really man. They brought him out for that one, man. Yeah, trust me.
Corey Guns. I expected very, very, very big things from Corey Guns. I thought he was amazing. Then he signed to Young Money, disappeared.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened there. I think that's a label issue. I don't know, but yeah. And then the last one is Bishop Lamont. So Bishop Lamont dropped Caltroit again.
Yeah.
He was signed to Aftermath. He was meant to be the next guy out of LA. And then he was dropping mixtapes, so he dropped a couple like Bishop's Mobile, N-Word Noise. He dropped a couple mixtapes, and none of them had Dre beats on there. And I was like, oh, maybe he's saving this because his album was meant to be called Reformation. It was meant to be like the next big thing. Obviously, we never got it. But in the meantime, he dropped an album with Black Milk called Caltroit. That album is crazy. Like anyone who's heard that album, Black Milk beats. You've got so many features on there, Busta and all these people just killing it. Like it's amazing. But never heard from him, man. I used to speak to him a lot on Twitter as well. Like, but I ain't spoken to him in a minute. So hope Bishop Lamont is good. And if that Caltroit 2 or anything is on the way, send it over, man. But yeah, that was the last of my list, bro.
That's sick, man. Where are they now, man? So as you know, people come, they go. But it's always interesting, man, when you're just sort of listening to some music and you think, because you don't really think about that artist, you know what I mean? So it's only like when you hear that song or album comes up again and you're like, oh yeah, where they go, man? So yeah, we thought we'd just hit you with some of these today, man.
I didn't think about Roscoe for years.
Exactly.
So I don't know where I don't know where Wavo found this guy, but the fact that he brought him back and he absolutely slaughtered that tune, I was like, wow. So yeah, you're absolutely right, man. You could just be listening to something and just hear that one artist and be like, wow, I ain't heard them in a minute. Yeah.
Because how long's it been since you heard something from Roscoe? Like,
it was tune. He was on a Pharrell
tune. Yeah,
you
had the clips. Yeah. So you're probably talking a good 15 years or something. I don't know, unless there's been something.
He went to jail. I think he was in jail for a while.
Oh, wow. Okay. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think he went to jail.
And, but yeah, that was a nice little Yeah.
But to hear him back and so good, really do.
And such a sick verse, effortless. Yeah, he was in prison, isn't it? But yeah, man.
Yeah. Cool, man. I hope you enjoyed that episode, ladies and gentlemen. If there's anybody else that you feel should have been included, feel free to drop a comment below. Just a bit of fun. Most of it was literally just running through, and like he said, man, we could be listening to a song and be like, oh, I heard him, throw him on the list. So there's probably a load that we missed, but yeah, feel free to have a discussion below as always. As always, thank you for checking us out once again. We'll be back next week with another episode. So from me, your boy Slack in the building, and my co-host on my left, signing off.
Yeah, man. Thank you for tapping in once again. We'll be with you next week, man. My Type of Hype, the podcast that celebrates hip-hop and not just the hype. So peace. Have a good week. And until then, man, keep it hype. Peace.
Yes, indeed. See you next week, people.